Hi everyone, I'm Virginia Killmore and welcome to my studio. Today's card is Fast Friday, so we'll get right to it, but before we do, I want to remind you of my project. All week long I've been talking about sending Valentine's Day cards to seniors in nursing homes. If you're interested, I have a post on my Facebook page that tells you where to send it and how to send it. Thank you if you've decided to do that, and please post pictures of your cards so we can share with people. So let's get started with our post today. So this is our lovely card today, and it's made primarily with paper that is free. It's from this paper Blooms set. People ask me all the time, why does it say it costs $50? Well, it costs $50 for you to get the paper for free. If you spend $50, you'll get a pack of this paper, and it's the paper I used for this card. I did that by using some of the designer series paper in the background, and then I took a sheet and just cut out a bunch of fussy cut a bunch of flowers. So I have a bunch sitting around that you can look at, and it just was really kind of a fun thing to do in the evening. So now that I have a bunch of them, I can make a bunch of the cards pretty quickly. So let me show you how the card gets put together. We're going to start with an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock. And then I'm going to have a 4 1/4 by 5.5 piece of Night of Navy and a 3 3/4 by 5-inch piece of Seaside spray. Both of those pieces need punching done to them so that I can use them. And this is my Tuesday tip that I had this week on Instagram, that so often we forget that we don't have to throw away paper or use scrap paper for a lot of what we need. We can go ahead and punch out of what we're using the card to get what we need for our little scrappy pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and punch. I'm going to need 2 of these from the Sprig punch and 1 set of double ovals. The double oval is interesting because you cannot get, I really only need this, but I can't punch it out with that. So that would be my only thing about the double oval that I don't love, is that you always have to punch out extra. But I always have extra sitting around. Here's some I punched out the other day. If I need it, I can grab it really quickly. I only need this part of that one, and I could use that extra for something else. So I'm going to set aside the components and start putting my card together. Now, another tip that I didn't share on my Instagram post is that I got this strip out of this. I cut all my cardstock to 4 1/4 by 5.5. I have a pile of all the cardstock sitting around, ready to rock and roll when I need it. I can grab it at a moment's notice. So the first thing I did was cut off this strip from when it was originally 4 1/4 and 5.5. So this strip is what I'm going to use across here. It becomes sort of like a ribbon on my card. So let's start putting the card together, because we already have everything we need actually at this point. Very little stamping to do today. I'm going to go ahead and get some glue on here because I've got so much stamped cut out, I have to sort of work around that space. Don't need a ton of glue. I always say that every day. People overuse their glue. So once I have that on there, I like to take my bone folder and just work it across to make sure I smush that glue right down. And then I'm going to take this piece and apply it. Same thing I just showed you. I'm going going to center it. There are people that actually take the time and they use their grid paper to help them. I am not one of those. I'm kind of like to use my eyeball. I used to tell my students I can tell within a 1/16 of an inch. But I'm noticing as I'm laying this out that I'm just off a little bit. Same thing again, press down. And then the last step is this piece, and that piece just goes on. Ooh, look at how pretty that side is. I wonder if that would have looked just as nice. I probably should have thought about that before I glued it down. But now I have that laid out, and I'm going to glue this piece down last. And I think I'm going to use tape runner for that because I want it to go from edge to edge. So our new stamp and seal. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so now I have the tableau or the canvas for my artwork. So I need to stamp this, which is my little sentiment, and that comes from A Touch of Ink, which is a free set that you can get. And you could get that if you spend $100, you get that for free. That's a beautiful set. Or you could have your own party, spend $150 and get both the paper and the stamp set, and then make tons of these cards. So I'm using Night of Navy ink. I'm going to go ahead and glue that. Or your best bet is just to become a demo. For $99, you can get a ton of stuff. And then get 20% off all the time. Okay, so that's all set. I am going to set that here because I sort of want to work around that piece. I found it easier to lay my flowers out around this. So these are the flowers that I picked. Some of them have pieces attached because I cut right around them. And I'm just going to sort of lay them out and play around with how I want them to go down. This will get tucked under there, and I think this will get lifted up. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on the big piece, because the big piece I want to stand out. And so it's nice if I have that dimensional a little bit. I don't have to put it everywhere, but in a lot of spots. I'm thinking about adding this one. Yep, I think I will. So now I sort of have an idea of where I want everything. Just trying to break up this pink a little bit. So I'm going to set that right in there. I kind of like that now. I'm kind of happy. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing. Designing and laying out is the most important part of what you do. So you want to play with where you want stuff before you glue it down. I think I'm going to put this coming up like that. One last look. Yep, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to put, I usually just glue the very tip of this down. And now I need to glue these in order of how they will be sitting. I like how this sort of leans off the card, and I will put a touch of glue in one of the spots just to keep that in place. Again, dot, dot, not a lot. That's my mantra. See how quickly this is coming together? I'm going to pick up both of these and get glue on them both at the same time. And this is going to get tucked under here. And I want this hanging sort of off the area. Okay, I think I'm ready for my big flower, and then I'm done. Isn't that quick? I do find that often people take way too much time showing you stuff, so maybe I'm too fast for some of you, but I think it's important to let people have time to figure out how they want to do stuff, so I do tend to go fast. And there you go. There's our cards for this day and also for the week. This is Friday, so this is the last of it. It's so fun to play with this paper because it has such pretty flowers. They're all strangely shaped. But this set too goes with it, and you can use it to cut out some things because I have the cutters that go with it. See the cutters? They would cut out some of the flowers. So that's all. I digress. I hope you have a great week and thanks for watching. I'll see you next Monday. And don't forget, if you want to do the Valentines, it's not too late to send them out. You can send some out today. Check out my link on the post.